Good morning. We'll start our meeting, our roll call. Vice President Robinson.
Here.
Treasurer Nardi.
Here.
Director Walker.
Present.
Director Vaquero.
Here.
Secretary Allen here. And President Jim Haggerty is present on phone. Vice President Robinson, we have a quorum.
All right, call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. Gentlemen, remove your covers. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first point of business, the minutes. Need a motion to approve the May 8th, 2024 Board of Directors meeting minutes?
Second.
Okay. Any additions or corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Managers report. Shauna.
Good morning. Since we're in the card room today, we don't have any slides or anything, so I know they can be difficult to see on the TV, so just kind of have a few notes here we'll go through quickly. We'll start with pattern and coverage. We're continuing to work in the Fairfields and the Gloucesters. We're aiming for completion of those two areas by July 1st. This is delaying the start time for the Cambridges by approximately 30 days, and that again is to allow us to finish up in the other two associations. Once complete, all teams will move over to the Cambridges, and despite the delay in the start time, we should still finish up on time, if not slightly ahead of time. And then once that happens, we will move on to the lower loop. As for the audits, because there are still two hubs in here, those in the back of the community that don't have your number for your parts yet, we are working on the audits. They're in progress, and by the end of August, we should be able to call each of you in and present those numbers to you. Also, some of you may have been aware earlier this year we had a hydraulic oil spill from FCC that happened on several of our roads. Despite multiple cleanup efforts over the past 6 months, the stains have persisted, and our paving expert has come in and confirmed that they will likely never fully disappear. But more importantly, the real issue is that oil eats away at the binding that protects the asphalt to the base. And because of that and the uncertainty of the extent of the damage, we have filed a claim with FCC and are requesting that they mill and repave all of those roads that are damaged. We don't know how long this process will take because we are looking at over 500 square yards of asphalt, so I'm sure they're not going to want to participate. It's going to be a big cost to them. But please be patient, have patience and understanding as we try to work through that and get all of that sorted out. With disaster planning, as you know, we are now in full swing of hurricane season. The disaster edition of the wrap should have hit your mailboxes on the 1st. It looks like this. This was a double edition, so there is a lot of information in here that is really good for you in helping to prepare. So we hope you received that, but if you didn't or you need extra copies, copies are available in the master office, the COA, as well as the First Service lobby. And keep in mind too, all of this information plus a lot more is available on our disaster planning website, which is kpmaster.com/disaster planning. And of course, we've all heard all over the news, this is predicted to be a much higher than normal season this year. So just remember, with all this information we're giving you, the number one most important thing that you can do is to have a plan in place to decide whether you are going to stay or whether you're going to go. And that'll help you determine the rest of your plan and make sure you're prepared when the time comes. You don't want to be left scrambling to make that decision once a hurricane watch or warning is issued. It's too late at that point. Also an update on the radio tower that the master was funding as part of our disaster overall plan. The deposit for that has been paid, and we are hoping it will be ready for installation in July. A couple notes on privacy and security. I saw a post on social media last night about a hole in the 36th Street fence. The hole is big enough for someone to fit through. The Post mentioned that the issue was reported to security. However, the first notice I received of this issue was seeing it on social media. So it's great to report it to security, but if it is an issue that affects the master, I ask that you please, call Kathy, call our office and let us know, because we've already jumped on this immediately this morning and it will be taken care of. And we do inspect it twice a month, but things can happen in between, and you guys, can be our eyes and ears. So if you see it, please let us know so we can take care of it. And just so you do know what is going on here, this is not a new issue. They used to cut holes in the fence behind the Nantucket pool, and the kids would come over, enjoy a midnight swim, drink beers, and leave their cans all over. That seems to have been resolved, but now the new thing is that we have a pond that apparently has some really big bass in it, and so they appear to be cutting the fence to come in and go fishing. So we're also going to work with that association so they can hopefully help report when they see people on the other side of the pond fishing. Also on the lines of security, a hot topic that's been going around lately, security here, but we have requested permission from DOT to install some bougainvillea, which is a thorny bush which could act as a deterrent for people to be able to walk right in on 674. The area we are looking at is between that pond on 674 and the upper parking lot. The area is owned by DOT, but the master does maintain it, so we are hoping to work with them to get that permission. Additionally, I did provide a map to the Federation that outlines the ownership of all of the frontage on 674. They may have some interest in continuing it along the trust property, but now they know what that area is, and hopefully we can all work together on that. Just a note here, alligator safety, we know we say it all the time, but it is mating season. They're going to continue to be more active. You're going to see them roaming, maybe even crossing the street or hanging out in grassy areas. It's normal behavior, just please stay away from them. Continue to be vigilant. Don't walk around the pond at night. Don't walk your dogs around the park or around the pond at night. And absolutely do not feed them. This is a problem that continues to persist here. I think with some of our northerners that come down that don't really understand, these are wild animals that are very dangerous, and it's not only dangerous, it's illegal. You could face a $5,000 fine and even be charged with a misdemeanor. If you do see a neighbor feeding the alligator, please report it to Kathy immediately, because at that point we have to have the trapper come out, because once they lose their fear of people, they become a nuisance at that point. So just be careful with the alligators, please. Also, I would like to announce that we have a new hire. Cheryl, if you would raise your hand. For those of you who knew Tiffany, she is taking over that position. She comes to us with a strong administrative background and a strong background in IT. She's going to serve as the general manager's assistant and communication coordinator. So I look forward to you all getting to know her, and I think she'll be a great asset for our team. And last up on the list, I just wanted to take a moment to thank our former board director, Les Raba. He handmade and painted that beautiful Memorial Day sign that was at the front gate. He did that all by himself, and we certainly appreciate that, and we'll continue to use that year after year. So we really thank him for his time on that. And then additionally, look for the 4th of July display he built, which will be coming out soon. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Shauna. Treasurer's report, Jane.
Good morning. Am I on? Okay. Unfortunately, due to the issues that we have not received information from Vesta for the final end of year reports, nor the April financials, I am unable to give you a report at this time. As soon as we receive it through our new company, who they are also waiting for that information, I will be happy to give you a financial report, but I cannot give it unless I have the numbers. So unfortunately, it'll be postponed till July.
Thank you, Jane. New business. For those who are not aware, well, you probably are, Forrest Davis is no longer eligible to serve on the master board. He sold his house and he's moved up to South Carolina. So today we bid farewell to Forrest, a remarkable individual who has been an integral part of our community since 1996. For 27 years, Forrest has served Kings Point in various capacities, and for the last 9 years, he has been a dedicated member of the Master Association Board. And with that, I need a motion to appoint George Cardelli
Motion.
to fill the vacant seat.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Social media got involved with this already. And, you know, Shauna keeps talking about, you know, there's all kinds of misinformation on social media. So I will read the bylaw. No director will be eligible to run for re-election after serving eight consecutive years. However, after leaving the board for one full term, the director will once again be eligible to serve on the board. So since George has not served 8 years, he is eligible to be appointed to the board. Any other discussion? All those in favor of George joining the board?
Aye.
Any opposed? George, would you please come up and have a seat? After discussion with the board, the fairest course of action was to appoint the person with the next most votes, and he had 3 votes less than Ray. So that was one reason. But also, George has extensive experience on infrastructure, roads, drainage, and we welcome him back to serve in that position again. Okay. Approval of the Pro Pump contract. There was discussion whether we were going to postpone this till July, but talking with Shauna this morning, the board has had a chance to go over this, but I didn't know if there was any more discussion that was really needed, but the contract is almost verbatim to one we have with ITS, and ITS did not want to renew, and it's currently up right now. It was May 31st? Okay. So, I need a motion to approve the Pro Pump contract.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Volunteer of the month. We do not have a volunteer of the month. Since the RAP was dedicated to disaster planning, so that'll will resume in July. So if you do have you want to submit a nomination, it's master@kpmaster.com. Open forum, limited to 3 minutes per person. One thing I'd like to say to go along with what Shauna said about people breaking in, I've just become aware that there's been a silver Camaro, black convertible top, that has been coming in through the south gate in our lane, not the visitor's lane, coming in, going into the garden, and picking crap. So Monday night, Vicki and I went down to check our orchard and water, and all of our red apples were gone. So all I got left is about a half a dozen green. I had about 8 red ones that Vicki was going to make an apple pie out of, gone. So be diligent. If you see a silver Camaro convertible, If you could get the license plate number, it'd be really helpful. Okay. All right, open forum.
I actually had two things that were brought to me for open forum. I'll address both of those here. One was asking for an update on the KPW bridge. We do have another proposal for a scope of work that's with our engineer. He's reviewing it. I actually heard back from him this morning and he had some follow-up questions. So the contractor and engineer are working that out, and fingers crossed. We'll get some movement there and have something to present to the board shortly. The other issue here was we had talked previously about widening the golf cart path between the bridge by the dog park and that comes out on Gloucester there. That's something that the board will have to decide. One of the big things we're waiting on is TICO, because there's a tension pole that has to be moved and a couple things they have to put underground. So that has to happen first. But they seem motivated, so they are working on that. If that happens to be done before we start paving this year, then the board can consider at that time if they want to go ahead and add the widening this year or put it off till next year, but that will be up to the board.
That golf cart path that goes through that association, is that association land or master land?
There is a small section where it turns that is association land, but that president has said they will gladly give us an easement to widen that
good.
path because people drive on it anyway and it just tears up, their yard right there anyway.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else? Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved, all those in favor? We are adjourned, thank you very much. That was a short.